Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mundane Matt, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Three Buck Theater. Got a couple really good stories for you guys today, like the plot synopsis to the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie, whether or not Rogue One, a Star Wars story, is going to kick ass in China, the Razzies Awards and their nominees, as well as all about Duncan Jones's newest movie for Netflix, Mute. So kick back, relax, and get ready for some kick-ass motherfucking movie commentary. Alright guys, first up today we're going to be talking about Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and whether or not it's actually going to perform well in China. Keep in mind that China right now almost means more to Hollywood than anything else outside of the United States, and even to some respects more so than the United States. And last year, when Disney released The Force Awakens there, they hit it hard. And I don't mean just like, a minimal push in some country. They had stormtroopers lined up on the Great Wall of China, that kind of publicity stunt. And the movie failed to connect in a way that they really wanted it to. Part of the reason why is Chinese moviegoers were like, we don't want this kind of by the numbers sequel into the entry. They wanted something more, something better in terms of story, and they didn't have Star Wars growing up there. So Disney also kind of had the problem of introducing the seventh movie of a very beloved franchise to a country that didn't really grow up with it. So it was kind of a bit of an uphill battle on that one, and didn't really work out so well. But according to the early reports, Rogue One isn't doing much better. It says here that it did $6 or $7 million US on Friday, and its 3-day debut is looking between $25 to $30 million. Yeah. This is fucking Star Wars we're talking about here. It should do more. I mean, look here to give you guys an idea of how China works. Warcraft, for example, a movie that came out in June and just failed miserably here in the United States, did fucking gangbusters over there in China. So much so that Legendary, the company that produced it, was purchased after Warcraft came out by a Chinese company for like $3 billion. And from what I'm hearing, it's entirely possible that Warcraft 2 will completely overlook the American market and go straight to China. So if you are one of those few fans here in the United States or the Western world that enjoyed Duncan Moon's Warcraft, you might have to watch the sequel with subtitles. So there's that. But hopefully Rogue One will pick up steam in the country. I personally think the movie is fantastic. I love what they did with it. I loved what they were attempting to do with it. And I love the fact that I think now we finally closed out the story involving the Death Star and can move forward with other stories inside of that universe that aren't necessarily kind of rotating around the Skywalker saga, where it was kind of our first foray away from that. And I think it worked out pretty well. That being said, we'll see what happens in China. At this point, it's kind of like Deadpool, right? Deadpool did so well outside of China, it got a sequel. And I will fully admit that I made the prediction that because there was no China with Deadpool, that it wouldn't do as well as it did. And I will fully admit and happily admit that I was wrong. So again, I'm not worried about Star Wars not being successful. Rogue One has already crossed over $800 million worldwide outside of China. And the numbers it makes there will only further push it towards $1 billion, which I'm telling you guys, it will hit. All right, jumping over into Duncan Jones news, coming off of the spectacular failure that was Warcraft, which, just for the sake of full disclosure, and you may not care, I own the goddamn movie on Blu-ray. It was on sale on Black Friday for like $6, so I scooped that shit up. I just haven't watched it yet. And I feel kind of bad about that because I'll look at it occasionally like I should watch you. And then I just haven't popped it in yet. But when I do, I'll let you guys know. And then we can say whether or not I think it's any good. It looks spectacular from what I've seen. I hear the story just isn't really there. And that's unfortunate because the story of Mute, Duncan Jones' newest movie for Netflix, sounds pretty fucking awesome. And so I really hope that he's able to kind of tell the stories he wants to tell because the dude is a good director. Moon was fantastic. And I even really enjoyed Source Code for what it was trying to establish. Never mind the fact that I have a lot of love for Michelle Monaghan. So there is that. But anyway, so the movie Mute is about a guy named Leo, who is a bartender living in the bustling city of Berlin. Because of a childhood accident, Leo lost the ability to speak, and the only good thing in his life is his beautiful girlfriend, Nadira. Now, when she vanishes without a trace, Leo's search for her takes him deep into the city's seedy underbelly. A pair of wisecracking American surgeons are the only recurring clue, and Leo is forced to take on this teeming underworld in order to find his love. It's kind of a fairly simple synopsis. Clearly, damsel in distress, hero with a disability, in this case he can't speak, teams up with two wisecracking American sidekicks, this time played by Paul Rudd and Justin Theroux. Paul Rudd, everyone really knows and loves. Justin Theroux is actually a very good screenwriter. He co-wrote Tropic Thunder. He also wrote Iron Man 2, so you can either kind of hold that against him or not. Or if you remember the movie, that Danny McBride movie, where I can't remember it now, but it was him and James Franco. I don't know why it's blanking on me, but anyway, he played the wizard in that movie. So there's that. So I like him. He's funny, but this time he's playing a wisecracking sidekick to Alexander Skarsgård. And you might know him as Tarzan from last summer, as well as, what was it? True Blood he was in. So he's a good actor, and I'm looking forward to seeing him emote, because he won't be able to speak. So it's just going to be a lot of sterling looks and steely gazes, not glazes. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm hungry. That's what it is right now. So a bunch of that kind of stuff. It should be pretty good. According to an Entertainment Weekly interview with this movie, Jones has said that this idea very much kind of draws influences from both Blade Runner and Casablanca. So based on the only image of it that we've seen in terms like the first promotional image, it looks more Blade Runner-esque, but this time with a lot more like neon lights. So it's kind of like Blade Runner meets Batman and Robin, kind of. But the Casablanca aspect of it seems really interesting to me. I'm curious if they're kind of tying it to Casablanca, what is going to be like the political stage of the world around it. Is there going to be war, famine, destruction, terrorism? Like, what's going to happen? And will any of that kind of feed into the storyline of this movie? Because that was one of the things, with Casablanca. It's like right there and everything, and right around World War II and shit. And so like there was the political side of it on the outside of the city, that or the outsettings of the story that kind of brought it home. Anyway, this looks pretty cool. I really want to see what they do with it. I really want to see when it comes out on Netflix sometime in 2017. But it just proves once again that Netflix is very much like caring about the content that it puts out there. I mean, Netflix, I think, wants to destroy television and cable at this point, and it's doing a very good job. It's very much creating content that people not only find to be enthralling, but entertaining. And it's not just like in one spectrum. It's a wide variety of content to kind of appeal to everybody, and it works for them. And personally, when I hear it's like, oh, a Netflix original, I'm like, I'm more inclined to watch that than roughly anything else that they have to offer. And that is part of their conditioning. They've made stuff so good that we want to continue watching it. Also, just as a quick side note, I know this is all about movies, but if you haven't seen Troll Hunters on Netflix, it's 26 episodes of like a young adult story with trolls and shit. Fucking wonderful. I can't recommend it enough. Anton Yelchin did the voice of the main character, sadly before dying, but it's from Guillermo del Toro, so you'll probably end up liking it. All right, so jumping back over to sequel news, because there's always sequels going on, at least, right? We do now have the official synopsis for Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tales. Now, this is the 5th entry into the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and one that a lot of people probably never thought it would get this far. I remember a story coming out from the production, or from the premiere of the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, where Keira Knightley, Orlando Bloom, and Johnny Depp were sitting together at the premiere watching it, and they were bracing for impact because they all thought that the movie was going to suck. Little did they know that it would become this ultra super mega hit, which would then warrant 2 sequels. You could call them unnecessary to a degree. I liked what Gore Verbinski was trying to do with those 2 sequels, but I do feel that At World's End was just a completely muddled film with too many subplots and too many characters, and it lost its way. And then the fourth one was pretty good, better than the third one, and I'm looking forward to see what they do here, because this is what it says the plot is. Johnny Depp returns to the big screen as the iconic swashbuckling anti-hero Jack Sparrow in the all-new Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. The rip-roaring adventure finds down on his luck Captain Jack feeling the winds of ill fortune blowing strongly his way when deadly ghost sailors, led by the terrifying Captain Salazar, escape from the Devil's Triangle, bent on killing every pirate at sea, notably Jack. Jack's only hope of survival lies in the legendary Trident of Poseidon, but to find it he must forge an uneasy alliance with Karina Smith, a brilliant and beautiful astronomer, and Henry, a headstrong young sailor in the Royal Navy. At the helm of the Dying Gull, his pitiful and small shabby ship, Captain Jack seeks not only to reverse his recent spate of ill fortune, but to save his very life from the most formidable and malicious foe he has ever faced. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, it sounds like a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, let's be fair. It does. It really sounds like a pirate. It really does sound like something that you could see Jack Sparrow getting into. Now, I'm assuming that Henry's character is the character that we saw in the teaser trailer that they've released, showing Javier Bardem as Captain Salazar saying, like, do you know Jack Sparrow? Send this message and shit. And the thing is, I don't really care for the CG in that at all. Like, I watched that teaser and I was kind of like, that's like not... that CG is kind of overdone. Like you leave a turkey in the oven for too long. It's just like... no, I wasn't really feeling it. But Javier Bardem is a great actor, and I really want to see what's going to happen with this. Never mind the fact that also Jeffrey Rush is back as Captain fucking Barbossa, because it won't be a Pirates of the Caribbean movie without Barbossa. But there's no mention of Will or Elizabeth. Now, Henry, it's been speculated that Henry is actually the son between Will and Elizabeth that we saw at the end of Pirates of the Caribbean, the At World's End, right? We saw him at the end there. Of course, at this point, Davy Jones is dead and Orlando Bloom has taken over that role and shit. So it could be that is his son, and that's how he knows Jack Sparrow, is because that's kind of like his Uncle Jack, right? So we could argue that that's definitely a potential plot device there, right? There's no Penelope Cruz this time around, so I don't really know how they're gonna play it together. And this is directed by Norwegian filmmakers Espen Sandberg and Joachim Ronig, who did Kon-Tiki, a movie I've never heard of. So I can't tell you if their style is going to be any good or not. But Disney doesn't tend to fuck around when it comes to these things. Disney knows Pirates of the Caribbean really kind of like reestablished these kind of genre films. I mean, let's face it too. The pirate movie, that genre was dead like for a number of years. And a lot of people actually blame Cutthroat Island for that, which is considered one of the biggest flops of all time. Funny story, a couple years ago, I was working on this, I was doing social media, like the viral media management for this movie called Devil's Pass. Actually, you can find it on Netflix and on Hulu. It's directed by Rennie Harlin. Rennie Harlin also directed, what was it, Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger, with The Long Kiss Goodnight, and Cutthroat Island. And so when I'm in a meeting with the producers on the film, right, and we're talking about everything, and they show me the sizzle reel of Rennie Harlin, I say, "Oh, what? I didn't see Cutthroat Island in there." And they go, "Yeah, we don't talk about Cutthroat Island." And I'm like, "Wow, it's a good fucking movie, Jesus Christ!" But apparently, that's what's killed pirate movies. And then here comes Pirates of the Caribbean in 2003. If I remember correctly, it was July 9th, 2003. I worked at a theater. We had that movie. It was sold out. We had that movie as a double feature with Finding Nemo for like 11 damn weeks. I have seen Pirates of the Caribbean roughly 65 times. Not even making that up. This was a drive-in movie theater, so we only had like 2 screens and each run 2 movies. So imagine I didn't have anything else to do at the time. I would just watch Pirates of the Caribbean. So I've got this different kind of love for the franchise, and I think maybe other people do. But okay, so here's the thing though. Trident of Poseidon. Okay, Jack is trying to find the Trident of Poseidon in order to stop Captain Salazar. Is it just me, or does it really feel like the Trident of Poseidon is basically Disney's way of going like, we're going to do an Aquaman movie before Aquaman gets a movie. Like, that's kind of what I feel from that. Like, that's what I feel they're trying to do. Even though it's probably just a long shot, but still the trident of Poseidon. It sounds cool. Could play out, could be good. I got no idea. I'm hoping that the movie does well. I'm going to see it when it comes out May 26th. So Labor Day or some Memorial Day weekend, i.e. the biggest movie going weekend of the year. Yeah, when I see it, I'll let you guys know my thoughts on it. And finally today, guys, I want to talk a bit about the Razzies. Oh, the Razzies. Arguably, they're more entertaining to watch now than the Oscars. The Oscars, I know they're trying to like kind of spruce things up, and they did a really good job with Seth MacFarlane as host a couple years ago, but the outrage and culture warriors got super butt mad at some of the jokes he made, and he was like, I'm not coming back to do that, and I don't even know who the fuck they have this year. I don't even fucking care. I don't watch them. But the Razzies are kind of fun. So they released their list today of their worst, right? Of their nominees for the worst. And they have a long list, and I'm not going to go through everything because I'll link to it in the video description. You guys can go through it, but I want to at least go through the worst picture nominees. All right, let's see how bad some of these things are here. So number 1 is Assassin's Creed. Again, I've heard mixed reviews of that thing. I haven't seen it myself yet. Some people who are fans of the game went in there and said that they liked it. Other people went in there and they were like, didn't really work for them. But I've heard more mixed negative than positive. So I can see why that might be there. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. If they're talking about the theatrical version, oh yeah, fuck yeah, totally put that on the goddamn list. That thing was goddamn dog shit. But if they're talking about the extended cut, fuck you, Razzies. That movie is fucking brilliant. Collateral Beauty, a Will Smith movie that nobody saw. Sounds like everything Will Smith does that comes out in the holiday season. No, seriously, like, look it up. That man does well in summertime, not so much in wintertime. He's always trying to gun for the Oscars, and he's never quite there. Then they have The Darkness. I don't know. I never saw it. Don't know anything about it. Then Dirty Grandpa. Yeah, that Zac Efron, Robert De Niro movie that came out January, a year ago this month. Nobody saw. The Divergent series Allegiant. That was pretty bad. Like the series, the thing is, like the Divergent series should have just been 3 books, right? When they tried making it into 4 movies, it just went really bad. Never mind the fact that like the ending of like the 3rd book, right, the end of the trilogy, is such a fuck you to fans. Like fans were like furious at the ending of the book. I'm not going to tell you how it ends because you go look it up yourself, but it's a real fuck you. It's pretty funny. 50 Shades of Black. Yeah. Like, see, okay. But like, that's on the list because it's like Marlon Wayans movie. And again, it's kind of like he did Haunted House 1 and 2. And they were both really stupid, kind of funny, but still really just fucking retarded. 50 Shades of Black is another one of those spoofs. But see, without Keenan Ivory Wayans, it just doesn't have it. Marlon Wayans, I've always enjoyed him. Don't Be a Menace to South Central, Drinking Your Juice in the Hood is one of my all-time favorite comedies. But that was Keenan Ivory Wayans and the whole family. Marlon Wayans on his own just can't handle it, in my opinion. Gods of Egypt is the next one on here. You know, movie looked kind of bad. I didn't see it, but I like the director, the guy who did The Crow and Knowing and iRobot and shit, Alex Proyas, whatever his name is. But the point is like the movie, it didn't look horrible to me. It looked like passably entertaining, but apparently cultural appropriation freaked everyone the fuck out. And so that's the end of that. Then you have Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democratic Party. Yeah, anything by Dinesh D'Souza can seriously go get fucked. I don't like that guy. I don't like the pandering bullshit. And that guy makes pandering shit. So yeah, I'm glad that's on there. Independence Day Resurgence. Come on, that was more fun than anything else. That was actually a fun movie. Was it great? No. Right? Was it needed? No. Was it fun? Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. London Has Fallen. The second movie in the Has Fallen series. There's actually going to be a new one coming out too. Yeah, they're doing a trilogy because Olympus Has Fallen did really well where White House Down failed. Because remember, 2 movies, same plot, came out the same fucking year because competing studios and shit. But who doesn't want to see Gerard Butler kill terrorists? I'm just saying. All right, and then you have Mother's Day. Yep, that was a pretty bad one. That was a pretty bad one. My gym had it everywhere, had posters for that everywhere because Jason Sudeikis' character like owned one of the franchises of my gym, and it's just like I That kind of killed it for me. I don't want to see it anyway, but there's that. Suicide Squad. Come on. Suicide Squad was pretty good. Don't trust Rotten Tomatoes. Why? Okay, whoa, wait a minute. Ghostbusters isn't on here. Suicide Squad's on here, but Ghostbusters isn't on here? What in the fuck, Razzies? Y'all dropped the fucking ball on this one. Clearly the worst movie of the year is fucking Suicide Squad, because the final movie on here, I'm sorry, the worst movie of the year is Ghostbusters. That was not a Freudian slip. But the worst movie of the year clearly is Ghostbusters, but Zoolander 2. Okay, I understand that one. Zoolander 2 failed to connect with the audiences in any meaningful way. Hell, the movie's already on Hulu to watch for free, or if you've got the subscription. And I haven't seen it, even though the first Zoolander is, again, one of my all-time favorite comedies. This one just didn't really kind of speak to me based on the trailers, so there's that. But it really does suck that Ghostbusters isn't on here. Let's see, hold on, worst director. Nope. No Paul Feig. I'm mad at you, Razzies. You had one job. You put 2 Will Smith movies on there. Couldn't just stick with Collateral Beauty, right? Replace Suicide Squad with Ghostbusters. You had to go and overlook Ghostbusters. You son of a bitch. All right, guys, that wraps up this episode of $3 Theater. At the end there, I was being more facetious than anything else, but still, no, Ghostbusters is a pile of crap, and it should be on that fucking list. But if you want to see the rest of everything that's been nominated, link below in the video description. As always, my name is Mundane Matt. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, checking out this series, and be sure to look for more episodes of $3 Theater next week, and I will talk to you all later. Have yourself a great day. Peace out. Alright everyone, that wraps up this video. My name is Mundane Matt. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe if you're new, check back daily for more content from me, or if you want to know about my life, check out Mundane Chats, or top 5 videos that are awesome as fuck, forbidden knowledge right here. Talk to you guys later, have yourself a good day, and peace out.